Welcome to Your Lot and Parcel podcast with your host, Benjamin Diaz, designed strictly for you, the consumer. You will find that this platform has your best interests at heart.
Welcome to our show. This is yours truly, Benjamin. This international organization has been around since 1968. However, this particular chapter, Habitat for Humanity, is located in a very unique place in America, which explains the demand for housing, and our guest will unequivocally make that point. She is the Resource Development Director for Habitat for Humanity in the Tulare and Kings County in California. Here she is, Deanna Saldana. Thank you, Deanna, for joining our show. I appreciate you taking time this afternoon, and I know you're a busy girl. I appreciate, though, that, but I think it bears repeating and putting the word out as to what you're doing in your area. And again, I thank you for joining our show, Deanna.
You're welcome.
Before we get started, I would like to preface by saying a few things about where you're at, and I think you're in a very special, unique area there, geographically speaking. Because I asked myself the rhetorical question, Deanna, why is there such a demand for housing in your area? So I looked it up. This comes from straight from the California Department of Food and Agriculture out of the capital city of Sacramento in California here. But it's interesting to note that Tulare County, which is right in the smack middle of the San Joaquin Valley in California, Central California, Tulare County leads the nation in dairy production. You know, I would have thought Wisconsin, but in many cases it is Wisconsin, cheese and all that. But when you add the mix of other agricultural products with the dairy production in Tulare, it ranks number 3 in the nation. I was astonished. Number 3. And in fact, number 1 is Fresno, which is just north of you. And number 2 in the country is Kern County, which is just contiguous to Tulare County on the south side. And,
we're cousins.
Yeah, you are. My gosh. Agriculture is, in fact, the largest private employer in the country, accounting for 25% of all jobs there in Tulare. And the climate, which I know the climate quite well, and the geography, you're almost at the foot of the mount. What is it? Sierra Nevada hills or mountains?
Yeah.
I should say they're not hills, they're mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sierra Nevada mountains, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful area. But what makes it's conducive to being extremely productive in the variety of citrus, grapes, nectarines, peaches, plums, livestock. And this has come from this report that I got from Sacramento, and not to mention feed for cattle and so forth. And oh my goodness, this other point here, Tulare County is the number 1 exporter in the whole country, which it's phenomenal. I wasn't aware of that because of its produce. It's exported all over Asia. Middle East, as in India, and as far as Australia. And it's just remarkable. Therefore, I can see where the demand for housing is needed there, and folks say they flock in, and this is where you come in, Deanna. How do you like that?
Yeah. No,
So,
we're a unique area.
Yes, it is. You're a very special area. So tell us about Habitat for Humanity and its inception as far as your organization and where we are today.
Well, Habitat for Humanity has been around. It's an international organization. Some people know that, some people don't. And we have been around since mid-1970s, and it's grown to I think it's like 75 countries around the world, and there's about 1,300 affiliates in the United States. And the whole premise is that everybody deserves a decent and affordable house. And we certainly all realize that this is just a basic need Human
Yes.
beings aren't designed to live in caves or little holes in the ground. So,
Yes.
we need to be able to put our family in shelter, and
Yes.
having something that's decent, which means it's not leaking, it's not made out of cardboard. This is something that will sustain you and your family and keep you healthy, and then that it's also affordable. So we're looking at low to very low income families who are spending half, if not better, on their income on rent. And so we try to focus on trying to get those families
Yes.
a homeownership opportunity. So this is not a giveaway program.
Mhm.
This is a long-term partnership between Habitat and our new homeowner partners. They have a mortgage with Habitat. Here in Tulare, Kings counties, we've been able to keep the mortgage interest rate at 0.
How do you like
So if you
that?
have a mortgage, you appreciate that.
Oh my, yes, absolutely.
So, and then that allows the families then to focus on building strength and stability and self-reliance, and being out there supporting the community that hopefully supported them when they were in the process of working with Habitat and building or remodeling their new home.
Yes. Okay, very good. When I think of Habitat for Humanity, I think of Jimmy Carter,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
which he's been a proponent of the organization for quite a while. In fact, I read up a little bit on that. He did one in Nashville last year, and he's 96 years old now. So he's
Yes.
quite active, a lot of energy, that fellow.
Yeah,
Him and his
him
wife.
and his
Yeah,
wife Rosalind. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's really great. So let me ask you, how has this organization supported your particular there in Tulare County?
We're all locally supported. All
Hmm.
the affiliates across the country. We raise funds through grant writing, through to
Hmm.
foundations or corporations or even local businesses. And then we reach out to the local community, individuals, congregations, service clubs, and such, to see if they want to get involved with Habitat. And so our fundraising is in Tulare, and we're also in Kings County. So we fundraise for whatever project from that county. So right now we have a build that we're doing in Hanford,
Hmm.
and much of the funding came from either grant writing or individual donations from the community itself.
I see. Very good.
Yeah.
And what are some of the events that you promote to raise monies or funds for these programs?
Well,
Um,
we in the past, for several years now, we've
yeah.
had a signature event, our birdhouse auction.
Oh,
And that's about 50,000 a year that we're able to raise on that one. And the nice thing is that it's a community party, and we have local artists who create birdhouses and dog houses. We put those up for live auction. We
yeah.
had anywhere from 15 to 22 restaurants donate food. So it was a big mixer.
Mm.
And the people, our sponsors and individuals who came, loved the casual atmosphere. While
Oh, sure.
that was supposed to be, let me put it was
Yeah.
supposed to be on April 3rd.
Uh-huh.
So we had to pivot. We tried to postpone it, and ultimately we ended up doing an online auction with the birdhouses, dog houses, and other donated items,
Mm.
and with sponsorships as well. So that
Yeah.
was one. We've got a golf tournament actually coming up on Friday.
Uh-huh.
It's at River Island. That's October 9th. And so we're raising funds for the Porterville area.
Mm.
The one thing about the Central Valley, as you know, especially with agriculture as prevalent as it is, it's a lot of space.
Oh, yes.
And so from Porterville to Visalia, that's a good stretch of land. And so the
Oh, yeah.
people, when we build in Porterville, we get support from the Porterville area as we do in Visalia or Tulare, or we're also, like I said, building in Hanford. So we try to make Habitat Tulare Kings County one big family, but ultimately we are definitely building in each community, and each community works with us individually.
Yeah, very good. Of course, because of the pandemic, we've had to learn how to improvise, and
Yeah,
of course, with
yeah.
a birdhouse auction and all that, that's a good idea. I know also noticed you have a murder mystery dinner.
We yeah.
Is that safe?
Yeah, we had a murder mystery dinner the
Yeah.
last 2 years.
Oh,
Unfortunately, we did have to cancel that one
oh yeah.
this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one is to the fundraise, but that was a great fun because it was definitely a community event. We had local sponsors, we had local participants, plus we also had the King's Players. They were our murder mystery actors. So
Oh,
it was very, very close knit with the community, but we have unfortunately had to
all
cancel
right.
that this year. But,
Yes.
again, the big key word in 2020 is going to be pivot, right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
So what we have done, because we are building a house in Hanford, is that we're going to host a winter women build, and
Mm,
have hopefully a few dozen women out on our job site December 4th and 5th. And we're
mm-hmm.
turning that into a fundraiser. We're outside, we're requiring gloves, social distancing, because they're going to be working all over the house.
Yeah,
And then, of course, they can wear masks and whatnot. So we're trying to
sure.
keep to the protocols, but give people an outlet. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people want right now
I
is
think so.
an outlet,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I think so. And let me ask you, this is strictly a women built effort, is it,
Oh,
for this project? I mean, it's kind of
we don't
it's
want to say we
interesting.
don't like
I've never heard
guys,
of
okay?
that. Never heard of
Yeah.
that. But go ahead.
Well, it's actually Habitat for Humanity has been doing it across the nation and across Canada for
Oh, okay.
years. It's
Really?
kind of
Okay.
designated specifically for March, but we thought, we're in a situation now where we have this build going on, and we had one earlier in the summer, and we had
Mm-hmm.
20 some women come out and help raise the walls on this house.
How
So we
about that?
decided we wanted to do it again. And so we're
Yeah.
hoping that we can get some sponsorships. We're not telling guys to stay away.
Oh,
If they
okay.
want to come, that
Sure.
we're not going to say no.
Okay.
But
Well,
we are trying to get women out there so that they can learn some basic building trades.
good.
We find a lot of women, once they get started with projects like this, they want to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, these tasks, basic hammer etiquette, basic power tool etiquette, that sort of thing, and that we teach right on the job site, they can then turn around and use that in projects at their home.
Oh, absolutely. I can see that. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's really good training for them. I
Absolutely.
like that. I like that concept. I also understand that you also have a restore. How does that work, Deanna?
Okay. Have you ever been to a restore, Ben?
Yes, I have. Yes, I
Yeah.
have.
It's a
Absolutely.
building materials thrift store. So
Mm-hmm.
what we have done, and again, this is another Habitat for Humanity aspect
Mm-hmm.
to our programs. This is essentially our third program. What we do is we encourage people to not throw things away. If
Mm-hmm.
it's potentially resellable, reusable, then we want it. And we will then sell those items back to the general public. And most items, whether they're brand new or they're gently used, or they could use some real TLC,
Mm-hmm.
these things help us a great deal by basically giving us a sustainable source of income.
Yes, absolutely.
And so we have two restores. We have one in Visalia and we have one in Hanford.
Mm-hmm.
And so those have helped a lot. I mean, consider this.
Yes.
I'm going to take last year's. We sold, I think it was in Visalia alone, we sold almost $400,000 worth of stuff.
Is that right? My goodness.
So imagine $400,000 worth of ceiling fans, electrical, plumbing, lumber, doors, windows, cabinetry in the landfill.
Mm-hmm.
So we take it both from the environmental aspect of it, and then we also take it from the aspect of this is a great way to raise funds for Habitat for Humanity
It
in our
is.
program.
It really is. Yeah, I have visited the stores. There's one it's here locally, and in fact, a few days ago, I was talking to a good friend of mine. He's a retired engineer, and he says, "Oh," because I was telling him about our upcoming episode, and he says, "Oh, I've visited and donated, and in fact, if someone cannot bring in the material, is there an arrangement for pickup on
Yes.
that?" Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if it's a cabinetry or a larger item, or you have a substantial amount of stuff, we have people right now,
Hmm.
because of the COVID, keeping people at home, staring at the four walls and going, I want to change that. We
Absolutely. Yeah.
have quite a few people that are doing full on house remodels, and
Oh
we
yes.
encourage them to give us a call. We are, of course, Tulare and Kings counties,
Hmm.
and anybody from Kern County can talk to Bakersfield, and anybody from Fresno County can call the
Yeah.
Fresno or Clovis one.
It's a good arrangement. I like that, and it's really a win-win. You're raising the funds to continue your efforts, and of course, those that patronize those stores are getting a good discount for that material. So that's a good deal.
Yes, yes.
We are visiting with a very special lady. She is the Resource Development Director of Habitat for Humanity, Deanna Saldana, and she lives and works in the number one farm product exporter in the United States. The how about the home repair program? I understand you have a program for such folks that need a little bit of maintenance on their home.
Yeah, we started the home repair program in 2008.
Hmm.
And, as I mentioned, I think on the beginning, we are not a giveaway program. We
Yes.
don't give houses away. So what we do is we encourage people to engage with us, to participate with us as partners, as we give them a hand up, not a handout.
Hmm.
And when we get people calling us because they need wheelchair ramps, or they have some issues with their home, plumbing, electrical, things like that, what we try to do is look at it from the same point of view as the home ownership program. So you've got low income, they often are challenged by age, disability, or other circumstances. And
Hmm.
yeah, they need this work done. So we try to create essentially a zero interest loan for the homeowners for the cost of materials and labor. And then we go in and work with them in partnership to try and either repaint the exterior, do wheelchair ramps and things like that. We do have a partnership right now
Hmm.
with City of Tulare, and that only applies to people who are residents of Tulare. But
Hmm.
if they're interested at all, they can call our office. Do you mind if I give the phone number?
Oh no, please do, please do.
It's 559-734-4040, and the extension is 100. Anita, who's our program assistant, she is working with local Tulare residents who need and qualify
Hmm.
for our home repair. And in partnership with the city of Tulare, we are able to get that money reimbursed so they don't have to pay us.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, but normally, like in Visalia, Hanford, we have this program where they can pay it back over time. We try to make sure that it's within their affordability limit, and so we can do as much as we can. Like heating, AC, that sort of
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah. Well, sure. It's I see that as a revolving fund, and
Exactly.
it
Exactly.
keeps being used, and I like that's a wonderful concept. Actually, I'm sure you have many experiences you might be able to relate about you folks being, having being assisted like that, that cannot afford that sort of thing. I believe you have some on your online too. I believe, right? So,
Yeah, we try to keep our website up to date as much as possible. Like the Women Build, our information is all up there, and we have news bits in the back. There's a couple. I'm going back a little bit with a home repair project, but there was a woman that contacted us. She lived in a mobile home. We're one of the few that will actually tackle some projects in mobile home parks, and yet she was in such dire straits with her stairs coming up to the front door that she could not get in her front door. And so she had to go around to the back and get in that way. So we worked with a group. It was a Methodist. No, excuse me. It was Lions Club that helped us out on that one. And I remember a gentleman who was in construction, but is now on our board of directors, walking up this stairway and putting his foot right through it.
Oh my.
So it was dangerous. It was a safety issue. When you run into a situation like that, where now you're living in a house that's not only not affordable, but it's not decent either.
Yes.
So these are similar projects to what we do. And with one of our homeowners stories, we have a young couple that we worked with back in 2008 when the mortgage and housing market fell. We fell into an interesting situation where we were able to work in partnership with the city of Visalia to purchase foreclosed homes and remodel them. And this family came to us. This was a partnership with the city, so the city had income requirements. And so they came to us as a family of five. I think it was five. And their income, they were like $100 over of what our income top limit was.
Yes.
And so we were, they're great. We really, and they had lived in, 9 people in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. They had lived in a small place out on a farm where the sewer was backing up and their kids were getting sick and they couldn't go outside and play because it was dirt everywhere. And we really wanted to partner with this family. And we ended up getting a call from them and going, "We're pregnant," which popped them over because now they're a family of 6, wow. So their income was dead on. So like we ended up getting them in an affordable home. They've been making mortgage payments back, and they have opened their own tree service business, and they're doing amazingly well. Yeah,
about that. That's a good story, Deanna.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. That's we can. I can see where you folks are really making a difference, and of course. These folks that you do help as far as ownership, they're asked to partner up as well. I mean, to have some kind of a responsibility as well along the way. Am I correct?
Yes, they do sweat equity hours, and that can encompass a lot of different things. Most homeowner partners come out and actually physically build. Victor and Danielle, they're the 2 new homeowners in Hanford, and they have been out there either once during the week and once on Saturday or a couple times during the week. So they are putting in up to 500 hours of sweat equity, as we call it, on this house, actually constructing it. So it's incredibly important to have that partnership. But we've also worked with families with disabilities who we've managed to navigate into another way of putting in their sweat equity. I'll give you an example. We had a homeowner who was in a wheelchair, so she was the site host. She would go out, she would talk to everybody, she would make sure that everybody signed in, she would make sure everybody had water, and so she was the site host. And then she came and worked with us in the offices, helping us translate from English to Spanish. So she put in her sweat equity hours that way. So, and we've had homeowners help us at Birdhouse Auction, the event that I mentioned. They put in sweat equity hours at events like that, like Murder Mystery and Women Build projects that we've had in the past. And they've also They've also partnered with us by helping other homeowners, like coming out and working on another house or a home repair project. So they put in their hours as they can. The one thing that we do not want to do is take them away from work. We want to make sure that they're able to keep their income going and keep that part secure. So we work around their job hours and whatnot in order to get the sweat equity in for their requirements.
Yeah. Well, it's a wonderful thing. I can see, if they participate into what they're doing, maybe like you said, their own home or other ways that they can contribute. They feel like they have a vested interest, and that's a good
Exactly.
feeling.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's a very, very nice concept. As far you indicated about the that one family that all of a sudden she's pregnant. As far as income, how do you determine? I guess you go by the average median income for the county, or how does that work?
Yeah. We try to stick to the HUD requirements, so we follow those as they come out. We're at 50% of county median income. Unfortunately, we for quite a while we were able to stick to the 50% of county median income, but because of the cost of housing and kind of on the tail of the mortgage downfall in 2008 into 2014, we found that income and credit scores and things like that, we couldn't quite get people to qualify because they do have to have decent credit and with this income. So we have had to go up to 80% of county median income. So we've raised it a little bit. And as anybody knows right now, the cost of housing is going up.
It sure is. Absolutely. Hey, as far as qualifying, there's a debt to income ratio of 30%, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. So, as I mentioned earlier, we found so many in a situation where about half of their income was going to rent.
Yeah.
So we try to make sure that it doesn't exceed a third, and that's with taxes and insurance.
Okay. All right. So you figure a family $2,000 income per month, so about $600 should be. And then, like I said, it's zero interest. Boy, you can't beat that.
No. I mean, interest rates are low, but they're not that low.
No, that's for sure. As far as credit, what's the criteria for an individual when you look at their credit history, Deanna?
We don't go by the number by itself. What we do is we try to look at what their credit history is. For example, if they've got a lot of credit debt to a jewelry store versus we've been paying off some health issues, hospital stays, things like that. And also looking at potentially the fact that they are actually trying to do something about their credit. Even if it is not great, they are making that effort. So we'll look at that. So as long as they have the steady income, it falls within the range, and we feel that they're a good partner and responsible for fixing their credit, then we will. That's not an accepted. We will go, but we will look at them seriously as a potential Habitat future homeowner.
There you go. So it's a case by case. I
It
guess
is.
most importantly, I guess, is the job history. And if they're stable, because of course you want to keep moving that fund, the revolving fund. You touched on some of the living standards, how one would qualify for this program. Rent, you said over 50%. So let's say a $2,000 income monthly, that's $1,000 rent. I can see that. That's quite a chunk, I mean, what do you got left? I mean, for groceries and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Poor condition. Go ahead.
Poor conditions would be like, I was just going to say, a lot of times with home rentals right now going from anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a month. So if you're on that $2,000 a month pay schedule, $1,000 is not going to cut it. So you end up living with more than one family per household. So overcrowded conditions is a huge problem. And they've even stated that it's part of the contributing factor to the spread of COVID right now.
Yes. Oh, gosh,
You've got
yes.
way too many people in one house. And, we've, as I mentioned with the homeowners that we partnered with, who lived in overcrowded conditions, but they also then lived on a farm with backup sewers and no clean water, and they couldn't go outside. So those types of conditions, and they do exist. I mean, they're people are struggling. They are.
Yes. Yeah. But I do appreciate what your folks are doing, and especially, as I prefaced at the outset, that your area it's just there's a high demand for workers because of the economy. It's how you're doing there and so forth. So I can see how you want to take care of your workers. That's good. That's very good. I understand you indicated you're currently building a home in Hanford. Could you describe that home for us?
The family that we're working with, they're a young couple. They have a young son out of their own, but they're in the process of adopting their 2 nieces.
Oh.
And the house is 3-bedroom with a bonus room and then 2 bathrooms. They're decent and affordable. So they're, vinyl flooring, stucco outside. We're basic countertops, and I think it's about 1,250 square feet.
Oh, wow. That is a decent home. Absolutely. Yeah. In Hanford. I've been in Hanford. When I think of Hanford, I think about that. There's an ice cream parlor there, I understand.
Yes.
But, I'm sorry, these things that come up to but anyway, it's been a while. It's been a while. So I thought about that. Yeah, I remember that dairy place there, that ice cream place. But at any rate.
Well, and you're probably longing it big time now because we've been staying at home so much.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah. Oh, boy. But you know what? You're doing a good job. I really appreciate that. And before we sign off, could you give us your website and phone number so folks can know how to reach your organization and support it, Deanna?
You bet. So, as with everybody, you can just Google Habitat for Humanity, Tulare, Kings counties, and we should come up pretty close to the top of the search. But our website is actually hfhtkc.org. So it's an acronym of Habitat for Humanity, Tulare, Kings counties. So, and our phone number 559-734-4040, and my extension is 106. And if you want to volunteer or learn a little bit more about our home repair or home ownership programs, call Anita at extension 100.
There you go. Very good. Well, I appreciate your time, and I'm proud of you, Deanna, for what you're doing there. Really.
Thank you.
And again, I thank you for joining the show.
Thank you.
For our listeners, if you have an inspiring human interest story you want to share with us, let me know at yourlotandparcel.com. And now, if you would excuse me.
This program has been produced by Isaac Diaz with music by Echo Foxtone. All the opinions expressed in this podcast are opinions only and should not be relied on. For more information, please visit the website yourlotandparcel.com.